All right, you guys, I just tried this rib nutter. It is flipping awesome. I don't think I'm ever going to use another self-tapping screw in my life. I got my plate mounted. Sorry, you guys, I didn't record. My GoPro died. Imagine that. I plugged it in. We're at like 20% battery, so it's going to die again on me. But you can see what I did here. I got 1, 2, 3 holes. I'm going to mount my bar to here, and it's going to come out to my cross member that's out here. Once I put it in, I want to get these in before I tack this in to make sure that I can get it out. Well, and to make sure that I could use this rib nutter, because I will tell you guys, this thing's long. Look at this thing. It's like 1.5 feet across when you're at full depression this way. So when you're in there and you try to actually crimp these, it was actually hitting here. I had to have it a specific way. I got it about halfway up, and then I had to turn it to pinch this one the rest of the way, because it was hitting the dash, or the windage tray. Same with down here, it was a little tight. It did clear. It worked really good though. You guys, what I will tell you is so this is a clearance drill that I drilled the holes in this with. So I set this in place and I used this as a template. I drilled that hole, drilled this hole. Then I came back through with my other bigger drill, wherever it's at, right here in the drill. So this was like a 315 that I drilled these holes with. Drilled through the unibody. Then I went back with this 430 drill and opened these holes up, then put my rib nuts in. I did think at first it was gonna, in order for this one to line up, I thought I had to have these in and bolted down. When I marked and drilled that, I thought it would lift it when you put the rib nuts in. Didn't seem to lift it enough to be an issue for that to go through, because I had enough clearance on my through hole, my 350, because it measures at 310, but I drilled it at 315 through here. So to bolt those in. Yeah, you got to make sure you have clearance on your bolts to get this stuff in, you guys. And same with this. And it only did take one pump with this, you guys. You literally pull it up and it's there. They're good and tight. I am blown away. I love this thing. I'm going to use the hell out of it. I'm so glad I bought it. All those years that I've using self-tapping screws. I'm done with that. We're rib nutters now. Nah, that's funny. Anyways, I love it, you guys. It is awesome. I would definitely encourage you to buy one if you don't have one. Makes this kind of stuff super easy. Yeah, so we're gonna get the other one put in over here. I'm gonna take some measurements here, get it bolted up, get this bar tacked in, and then I can start working on these bars coming up to my frame. I am a little afraid, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, whether this is gonna come out of here or not, because I feel like these are in there at just a slight bit of an angle going that way. I think it'll still come out. We'll see. I guess once I get it in there, I'm really not going to care at that point. It's going to stay forever. So, yeah. So because you'll still be able to unbolt the struts and replace the struts if you need to. So if that's in there permanently, I guess it's not a big deal. I guess I could have just welded those in. And maybe I'll do that one of these days. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I could put a weld here, one up here, because it's pretty tight there. A little loose this way, because they're kind of like an oval hole. Maybe we'll make it permanent, and maybe our roll cage will tie into that permanently, which will be good because these plates will distribute some of that roll cage load. I'm gonna actually, my roll cage will be back in there when I build it. This will be part of it though, I have a feeling. Okay, I'm gonna get those drilled. I'm gonna plug this GoPro back in so I can charge it. Once I get all the holes drilled, I'll come back and show you guys how this rib nutter works. It's pretty slick. Okay, you guys, I got this kind of set up. Spot. Okay, so I set my plate up there. I drilled my 310 hole through here using the plate as a guide. Took it off, then I drilled it out to the 415. Now we're gonna put this in here, and literally you just, oh shit, oh, did I mess it up? Okay, something ain't right. I messed something up. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just being a wuss. There it goes. So that's all you do with that, you guys. Sorry, that was kind of tough. My shoulder's kind of hurting too. But yeah, it puts that rib nut right in there, you guys. Look at that thing. Now it's got, wow, sorry. Now it's got a thread in there so I can thread my bolt in. This thing's pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty neat. I like it. It works pretty well, you guys. I was kind of looking at this. Jeez. So this right here, you can see this loosens, and you can move this in and out. This is how apparently you set, oh my gosh, sorry you guys, how much it squishes. If you want more or less squish, like if you're doing a thicker piece, but literally, I feel like you want it set where it has the least amount of stroke, so you have to barely pull these handles together to get it to crunch. The first ones I did, I didn't realize that this was an adjustment, so I just squished them in there and it worked just fine. It was totally bottomed out, so it had the most amount of stroke here as possible. It has a little gauge on it here that tells you how much you're actually moving. Yeah, so it seems to work pretty well. I mean, you can see that. Let me show you what an original one looks like, and after you tweak it. Yeah, so you can see down, maybe not. You can see down in there how far the threads are down in there. Then once you squish it, it comes right up to the front. So it's moved quite a ways. So I know it's squished in there good. I'm gonna bolt this back in here. We'll drill the other hole here, put the rib nut in there, then we'll do this one. But it is just a little bit higher, you guys. It does lift the plate just slightly. I don't know if you can see the gap under that one, but yeah, it just lifts it just a little bit, but not bad. It's really good for the sheet metal stuff. It's, you know, because you can't drill and tap it, so it's gonna work out very well for what I need it to do right now. So that's where we're at. We're gonna get this bolted up, get the other holes drilled, get the rib nuts in there, and get this bolted up so we can start cutting our bars coming off these to this one. I'll actually get this bar tacked in and then work on these two. So I'll show you that when I get there, you guys. All right, you guys, we're smoking. So I've got the strut towers somewhat tacked together. Well, it's all tacked together. We're gonna unbolt it out of here. Moment of truth, whether this thing comes out or not. I'm a little nervous to see if it's gonna or not. I hope so. It's gonna be close because I know these have a little angle. We'll see how that fights us, and this is angled back that way too. But you guys can see what I've done now. So I've made my strut tower, then I came down to the unibody here on both sides. This is just a little piece of angle iron. I got my rib nuts in it, and then I ran my tubes down to those angle irons, which is the unibody right above the suspension stuff here. The main suspension mount is like right in here. So now as this car pushes this way, it's gonna force it down into the other side. Same with that one. This car is gonna be pretty rigid, even though I'm gonna cut most of it apart, because all this top piece is coming out. All this stuff you see up here, all going away. But it looks pretty cool, you guys. There's a little bit of an angle. Let me see if I can get it this way too. And I just ripped my sweatpants. That's sweet. So yeah, so got my tube. These actually kind of angle back just a little bit. I don't know. Maybe there, yeah. So they angle back just a little bit. So that force will be generated down through here. So now we're gonna unbolt this. I'm gonna weld this thing out and then try to bolt it back up, you guys. I think it looks pretty cool. It's gonna serve its function perfectly. Whoa, tripping over stuff. I need a bigger shop already. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. So I'm gonna work on getting this thing unbolted. I'm gonna get it welded out, painted, and drop back in here. Yeah. I might even paint it a really radical color. We'll see. You guys, we're still in this BMW. I got this thing painted. So I found this paint. It's not bad. I like this 2X stuff better. But I love the color of it. It is my business color, like to a T. I don't know what it looks like. Super bright on this camera. It's called bright blue, I believe. Yeah, bright blue. But it's cool. I like it. It's really awesome. It's really close to my business color, like I said. I'm trying to get this thing in here. It's fighting me a little bit, you guys. I was rushing this because I wasn't feeling good. I just welded this whole thing out. It moved. Stupid. I was rushing it. I screwed myself a little. But part of the problem is too, my strut towers, when I try to push it on, they're pushing down. It's not going over this little, there's like a little washer thing or a bushing in there. It's not going down over the bushing. Like I said, it moved just a little bit. One of my nut certs, I didn't quite get it crimped quite right. So when I loosened it, it spun in the frame. So I had to frickin' pry it off there. I'm just struggling a little bit today, you guys. I'm just not feeling great. I shouldn't even be doing this, but I want to get it done because it's cool. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just opening up these holes just a little bit. So I have a little bit of slop. The wiggle room isn't going to hurt me. I'm probably going to open up my holes down here too, just because everything moved a little bit. I mean, you can see there's nothing holding this span here. These are just open. So when I just constantly welded around all these, everything moved a little. It didn't move a ton, you guys. It just moved enough to where it's making this a pain in my ass. And I'm not in the mood to deal with it. So I'm just going to blow open all the holes, just like a couple drill sizes, just so I have like, you know, 10 thou slop in all my holes, so I can get this thing positioned a little easier. When I bolt everything down, it won't be a problem. Literally a lot of the stuff I used to build rocker guards and stuff, I used to purposely do this. I'd put a washer under stuff, drill the holes right to size, tack everything, weld it out, and then I'd come through and I'd open it up like 4 drill sizes. So I had just a little bit of play to get everything to line up. A lot of manufacturers kind of do this too. It's not a big deal. It's just, I don't like doing that. I'd rather it to be like just right from the get-go. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm working on. I am kind of messing around with some paint here too, because I am going to paint this Jeep someday. So I painted this multiple colors, and I'm going to sand through it, see what it looks like. I'm going to kind of try to do my own version of patina on this Jeep once I get the body straight. So probably a year from now. Minimum a year from now. It'll be a while before I get this done, so. But I just wanted to play around with it. I was watching this paint dry, so I was like, I'll just paint this and mess with it in a little while. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna try to get this in tonight. My kids are sick, so they keep calling me in the house on my cell phone so I can come in and get them in the bath or take their temperature or whatever it is. So I'm not getting a whole lot done today, you guys. I'm surprised I made it this far, honestly. So I did get a little bit of time to work, but right now we're getting close to bedtime. It's like, well, it is bedtime. It's like 9 o'clock, so they're in there trying to get their beds together. Trying to figure out where they want to sleep so I can get their beds together. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I don't know. Kyla can probably do hers. I think driver's already set up from last night. I don't think he's moving, so. I'm going to drill these holes open and try to get this in this car tonight. I'm hoping. But I do like this blue, you guys. This is probably going to be the same color as the entire roll cage in this car. So we'll see. This is kind of a test paint for me. I've never really used it before. We'll see how durable it is. The one thing that is pretty cool about it, it says right here, dries in 25 minutes or less. So, and it totally was. I mean, I got some fingerprints on here because I just kind of got in a hurry and touched it before it was dry, but it did not take very long for this paint to dry. I was pretty surprised. So I'm gonna get these holes drilled out right now. See if I can set you up and you can watch me struggle, because I've been struggling all day. Drill's pretty sharp. I do know how to sharpen drills. I'm being lazy today, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just trying to knock this thing out. I want it done. I hope you guys like the color as much as I do. It is badass. It is totally one of my business colors for sure. All right, we'll see if I can get this in here without frustrating myself. We got this bad boy in here. It looks wicked cool. I really like it. I'm gonna tell you guys, I struggled getting it in there. After I welded it and it kind of moved a little bit, it was so tight trying to get it over these top strut mounts up here, up in the top, these ones. It was really hard trying to get them in there because it's kind of got like a bushing that goes through that hole I drilled. It actually has to stick through there. I couldn't get it to pull up far enough. I almost got to the point where I undid the strut from the bottom, bolted it into here, and then redid the one on the bottom. The other problem, my nuts right there and right here, they spun. It sucks, but yeah. Once I get the top off this car, all this, I'll come back and revisit these two bolts. Yeah, kind of crappy. It happens sometimes though. I tried to rush it today, you guys. It's not something I normally do. I hate to say it, but I sometimes feel like I'm rushing stuff just to get you guys some content out there. I don't want to do that. I want you guys to see some cool stuff and built right. I rushed this one. It is in there. It's going to serve its purpose just fine, you guys. It just frustrates me a little. But it is what it is at this point. I'm over it now. It got me a little bit. The car made me bleed several times. This was the first time. That was that side right there. So, part of the problem with this was, you guys, I can't get down to the top of this bolt because this is still in the way. I tried to beat this back with a hammer to get me some clearance. Didn't help. The biggest problem was trying to get on that nut on that stud on top of the strut. It just didn't want to go on for some reason. There's like a little cushion underneath this washer. I could not get this side to start to save my life, dude. After it did that to me, the car paid a price. Me and him had a little argument, a discussion, and I think I might have won. I did win because look, it's in there. It does look cool, dude, guys. I really like the way it turned out. It's going to be pretty awesome when the rest of the cage is tied into this. Yeah, and I really like the finish that paint puts off. It's almost like it's got a clear coat already on it. It's some cool paint. I gotta admit, I'm all about the 2X Rust-Oleum, but I couldn't find this color in it. It was only that other brand. I love it, dude. It is freaking neat color, dude. And it's the exact color of my logo. That's what I love. So we're going to continue on with it. I'm going to keep using that paint for the rest of this roll cage. That'll eventually be tied into this. Maybe. I'll probably tie it into this. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it'll probably be tied into it, I'm guessing. Once I get the rest of this car hacked away, we'll see what it looks like and where stuff's going to tie into. But we are getting there. I didn't really work on this a whole lot today, you guys. I did cut a little bit on that horn the other night, but not tonight. It's like super late. This thing kicked my butt. My kids were kind of driving me crazy. They're both sick, so I get it. I just didn't get a lot of time to work on this, so a little bit of time I did get. I got that thing made. I brushed it. So I'm a little disappointed in that part, but I wanted to just slide on there and bolt in like no problem, but I had to force it a little bit. But at least it'll give this car some structure when I cut this off, because it's going to need it, I think. I don't know. We'll see. This is totally open and it's just fine. It didn't move at all. But I just wanted to make sure that was in there before I cut it, just to make myself feel better about it, I guess. So I will revisit this, you guys, once I get this off and I get the Jeep body mounted the rest of the way. All right, everyone. I've been out here hacking for a little while. I'm feeling a little bit better than yesterday. I got this other side and been working on trying to line it up. Man, I really need these side skirts. That's going to determine this body height. I did get this horn cut off the best I can. I'm going to come back in and plate this, you guys, right here. It's just a gaping hole right now. That will be plated both sides. I'm just roughly trying to get this lined up. I went back through, I actually took that side back off and cut a bunch of the inner structure out of it, just to snug it up next to the body, because it was super wide right here, and it was whoop, this way. It was leaning out towards the bottom. It was sticking way out this way, so I cut out a lot of that B-pillar, the inner structure. I'm still contemplating whether I want to make this body removable or if I'm going to weld it to the chassis. I don't know yet. I did have you guys can see the giant rust hole here. This was bent so bad right here, you guys. I body hammered it for about an hour, just kind of working this. There was a big crease like right here and one here. It's, like I said, it's pretty good now, but it was rough, like super rough. I did all that work, but I'm probably going to cut this out right here, and there'll be a patch panel that will actually extend for the rest of my body into my rear fenders. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We're actually lining up pretty good here though. The clamps fell, that side's kind of falling down a little bit. I don't have enough clamps to clamp all this crap on here. Out, dogs. No, out. Yeah, but it's starting to look, you can see I'm gonna have to add a pretty good section there. It's gonna be about 6 inches or so. It's looking like, hey. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I did get my strut brace in. I think you guys already saw that. Got my strut brace in for the most part. I love the color of it. I need to start working on this back, getting this cut off and stuff. So I don't know. I got a lot of stuff to unbolt and move and blah blah blah. You can see I kind of started drawing lines right here. Roughly, I laid the hood up there. That's about where I'm gonna. That's outside of the hood, so I'm gonna have to cut it in even more than that. I'm more than likely gonna cut a pie shape here, so I can fold this in and reattach it. So it'll probably be at least another inch in. So I'm getting over into this. So I got a ground here. There's some more wires up under here. I'm definitely gonna cut it off right there, because that's the very end of the strut pocket, brace, whatever is right there. Same with on this side. This side's a little better line. You can see my line right there. It's right where this strut tower comes up, so it's definitely getting cut off there. And I'm gonna have to weasel this back in here somewhere, because that's the outside of the hood. Being that this is wider too, guys, this is a good thing about a Jeep hood. So it's angled, then it goes straight. I'm gonna nip this corner off here, nip the corner off over there. So instead of this coming this way and then turning, you can see where it goes straight here. It lines up about there. So I'm adding about 2 to 4 inches-ish. It's gonna be 6 overall. It'll be 3 per side, I'm guessing roughly, because I think this gap is pretty close to 6. Yeah, it's pretty close to 6. So it'll be 3 a side. The good thing about a Jeep hood is, since it does have that kickback, all you do is cut the corner off and you just extend it out. So I'll be able to roll this piece and add it to this corner. I'll have to build that new structure, which could be a little tough, but it already looks pretty crappy. You can tell somebody's farmerized a weld in here. That'll all go away. So I'll be able to rebuild this structure to match this body, because I'm widening it 6 inches. Just the body, the grill is staying the same. The hood's staying the same except for the corners, because it's straight. I can just angle them out and should theoretically line back up. I think so. There's another guy out there that built something similar to this. There's a few guys. But I kind of watched what he did. I'd already kind of thought I was going to do this, and it's exactly what he did. He mentioned in his video he wasn't sure why he did it. It's because he widened his body. He widened the body, and it just made sense to cut those corners off because they don't line up because they angle back. So it should work out very well. Theoretically, this is all in theory right now. This is all, I'm just guessing, literally. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I know these videos aren't super awesome right now. It's not a whole lot of fabrication. It's mainly tearing stuff apart, trying to make this Jeep body fit on this BMW. So yeah, I really wish I had the side skirt so I could start, even if I just tack this body to here to kind of start getting it lined up so I could start building these pieces, fixing my rust. And I gotta figure this back out. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I need another Jeep tub is really what I need. That'd be awesome if I could find one. But if not, they do make patch panels, this section, that I'm probably gonna have to patch panel there to build a 4-seater Jeep body, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, you guys. I'm working towards it. It's taken a while, I know. It seems like a while. I've really only been at this maybe if you combine all my time, I've maybe been hacking on this thing for a week. So it kind of is what it is. It's going to take me a little while before we start getting to some cool fabrication. When I start building this roll cage, that's like going to be the pinnacle of this thing. It's going to be sweet. I can't wait to start doing that part. It's like super early. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep no more. Kids are in the house, they're sleeping, so I came out here and working on this. So I cleaned this area up, you guys. I hacked this off. It's about where the Jeep dash is, roughly in this area. I cut it a little deeper in so that when I put the Jeep dash in, this will go away. This will probably go away. That it'll clear. But I got to redo this hole. So this is kind of what I'm coming up with right now. I'm just going to do this at a 16 gauge and kind of cap this hole off. Something like that. So I'm gonna cut this out of some 16 gauge here. You can see I got some little flappies right here and right there. I'm gonna try, wow, that was weird. I'm gonna try to use my tipping die that I built the other day and tip these right here so I can get these 90s. I think I'm gonna have to switch out my soft roll, and I don't think I have a solid. Yeah, I don't have just a solid roll with a hole in it, so I'll probably gonna try to use that and tip it off of the side of my step die. Unless I got some over here in my little bin of wonder. Maybe I'll get lucky. Hey, like that. That might work. For that guy. I had all this stuff. I was trying, when I was in high school, I tried to build a Hosfeld bender, and I got most of the way, and I ended up throwing it away because I never used it. I wish I had it now. Oh, you know what else I could probably use too? Actually, this might be the die for it. I do have this little mini Hosfeld bender. I think those are the same size. We'll see if one of these fits on my bead roll, because I'm gonna probably need a hard die on the bottom, so that it puts pressure here as I'm kind of tipping that. So we'll see. I did try it on the paper. It worked on the paper fine. I might have to do a little hammer and dolly to get it there the rest of the way, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll kind of show you guys when I get that running how it kind of works. Hopefully it works. Yeah, the only thing about my paper template is I did add a little fin there too, because that actually folds down around the edge, and I want to be able to have a tab against there too. What I'm probably going to end up doing is just punching some little holes so that I can do rosette welds along the pinch rail there. Seam seal the rest of it, then I'll weld the outside of it. We'll see how this goes. I haven't welded a whole lot of sheet metal, and all I got is a MIG welder, so this could be a royal pain in the butt. But we're going to have a lot of it trying to put this body back together, so I'm going to have to learn quick. So let me get this. I took my template, laid it out here, traced it, got my 3 tabs right there. So I got to figure out some way to get this cut out also, because you can see it's kind of a funky design there. So I might just cut it off long and grind it. So we'll see though. I might be able to get my shears in there and make that. We'll see though. All right, you guys, I told you I had to take my table off my bead roller here. I'm trying to tip this, these flanges on my piece. Because I don't have a metal brake, so this is what I'm doing. I've just built these tipping. I actually built this tipping die, this top one. This bottom one's my step roll, because I really want, what I need is like just a flat die like that, but this is like a poly die. I need like a hard die to actually get this to fold, so I'm just using my step die. I ran through this like one time. You can see I kind of got a little bit of an angle on them. And literally all I'm doing is I'm running it through. I'm just pushing up on this side, and it's starting to form it. I'm probably not going to get all the way to a 90. I'll have to body hammer this a little bit, but it is working. I'm just putting some upward pressure on this to get these to fold. All right, you can see they're kind of coming around. I'm gonna stick my dolly right here, my body hammer, and I'm just gonna beat on it a little bit, try to get it to go the way I want it to the rest of the way. Should work. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that. So it doesn't quite get it all the way because you start running into this bolt in this upper part of this die. But it gets you pretty close. So now I got 90. I'm going to beat these other two back. It's really awkward. Keep in mind, guys, I am no sheet metal expert. I watch a lot of YouTube, actually. I watch a lot of guys do this stuff, so I can kind of learn how to do it myself. There you have it, there's my piece. So I left this just a little long, you guys, so I can come back and trim on it a little bit. Yeah, see, I left this edge pretty long. I don't like the way that fits very well. But I left it long so I'd come back and trim this off a little bit. Obviously I got to trim that fin. Like I said, this isn't like something somebody's gonna see. It's just I don't like the hole there, so I'm just gonna put this little filler piece on there to kind of hide it and kind of just plate that hole up because I just don't like it. I'm gonna probably have to do that with these. These are like the holes for the wiring for the BMW that used to run the doors, which obviously there's no doors anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna mark this and we'll get all this trimmed back so that I can start working on tacking this in. Just plate that off and then repeat over there. All right, you guys, I got this thing in here. I'm gonna tell you, that is not welding. Yeah, people that do this for a living, put body panels on, holy crap, dude, that'd be a really cruddy job. Okay, I say that, it's not horrible, it's just like, to me, this isn't welding. I think you're like doing a bunch of little tack welds. You can't like run a bead or anything, you know, so to me, it's not really welding. But I did get it in there. I cleaned up a lot of the ugly. Most of this you won't see, you guys. Literally, you'll see this maybe, I don't even think you'll see this. Once I get the dash in, it'll all be gone. So I kind of left some of the weld here. I started grinding it back and I'm like, why am I wasting my time? But I did get all this kind of smoothed out. There's a sharp edge right there I gotta clean up. But it's in there. I'm gonna throw some black paint on it just to kind of hide some of the grind marks, I guess. I don't know. Keep it from rusting mainly. That's all gonna be under the cowl of the Jeep, so you won't even see most of it. And then the front will be probably dashed, that you won't see the front of that either, but it's in there. Now our structure's back in our car right here. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like I said, I cut a big chunk of the car out, so I had to put it back. I mean to cut that off too, I don't need that. Yeah, turned out pretty good. Like I said, I had to turn my welder way down to get this to work. And like I said, it was literally just like tack weld, kind of jumping around. There's a couple spots where I could actually go a little bit. This German steel is like super thin. Like this is a piece 16 gauge, and it's funny that was actually easier to weld than the car. Every time I hit the car, it just like blow through. So I ended up doing a lot of like just, if I got a hole, I did a lot of just quick trigger pulls, just bam, 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 like that, to kind of fill up a little spot, so I could smooth it back off. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that Jeep body welds better than this does, so we will see. So I'm gonna work on making I'm gonna run in the house and check on the kids real quick. It's like 7 o'clock now, so this took me a while to build this whole corner and the plate and all that. So I'm gonna run in, check on the kids, come back, I'll make the other plate, see if they're awake yet or not. It's actually snowing out this morning, so yeah, we had plans to get in the hot tub and cook breakfast and stuff, so we'll see where we go with it. All right, guys, it's Thursday night. It's like 10:30 at night. It's cold in my shop. I don't know if you guys see my breath, but it's cold. It's not real cold, but it's cold enough where I wish I had the fire going. But I don't want to start a fire this late at night. I barely even wanted to weld this late at night, but I wanted to get this corner done. I got a job I got to go look at tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be Friday. I got to drop kids off, then I'm going to go check out this handrail job. Guy up in Birdseye wants me to look at. I think me and Dylan are going to run up there and take a peek at it. So I wanted to get something done on the beat. BMW. That was close. So you guys saw I got the other corner done. I got this corner done today, the A-pillar. I actually used my template for that side to cut this piece out and just mirrored it. It fit right in there pretty good. So I had to beat it in just a little bit right there. Like I told you guys before, like just a bunch of tack welds isn't welding to me. So it's not my favorite thing to do in the world. I gotta admit, sheet metal sucks for weld. But I'm gonna get better at this. I'm gonna get to the point where I actually like it, because I gotta fix fender, front clip, hood. I'm gonna have to do a lot of it to make it fit on this car. Then I'm gonna get better at it, but it's not going too bad. This corner right here kind of blew out on me a little bit. That's still wet. This corner right on the edge here kind of blew out on me just a little bit. I did learn a little bit from that side. I left this because you're not going to see this. This is just, I'm just trying to put a little bit of structure and cap this hole. I left my sheet metal on the top just a little bit long, like maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And I took my body hammer and I just kind of tapped on it and rolled that edge just a little bit. So it was almost like a lap weld. So when I put my weld in there, it tied the two pieces together a little bit. I feel like this body on this car is really thin. It is super hard to weld. Like I got my welder set pretty freaking low. Damn near, I don't know if this welder could weld much lower than this. I mean, I'm at 17.8 and 178 on the wire. It's pretty low, you guys. I mean, there's not much more travel on this. I have it set for a little bit under 16 gauge. This is a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It's not really difficult, it's just not like I want to put a weld and like, you know, do my circles, my C's, my horizontal stitch and weld this thing out. And that's not the way sheet metal works. So I'm learning a little bit here, you guys. It's been like since high school. and I'm like 40, so yeah, it's been a while. And I've only done it one other time, so I'm kind of learning. It did turn out really good though, you guys. I mean, this thing is, you can barely tell, minus a little bit of like primer that I grinded away and then spray painted back over. You can almost not even tell that I put that thing in there. But it did cap this off really good. My Jeep body the cowl on that Jeep body is going to run right over this corner really well. I'm hoping to get my rocker extensions, beauty panels, whatever you want to call them, this weekend. I got to call the guy. I kind of let it go for a week because I just had a lot of stuff going on. Kids were sick last weekend and Kyla's sick again. I'm just like, ah. But we are getting there. I'm getting a little bit of work done. I got that in. You guys probably saw my strut bar. I'm pretty sure. I love it. I keep showing you guys because it's cool. The whole roll cage is going to look like that color. Pretty sure. Yeah, and I got some new ideas for this back hoop. This cage is going to be like a rock bouncer kind of cage on a streetcar. This is going to be a mix of a lot of stuff, you guys. So it's going to be out there. I've been looking at wheel spacers because I want to get these wheels outside of the fenders a little bit. Like 2 to 4 inches. I'm not sure if I'm running these wheels and tires or if I'm going off-road tires yet. I kind of like this because it's a street Jeep is what I'm kind of going for. That's fast because this car is fast. So we'll see how fast it is once I put like a bunch of cage in this thing. But I am losing a lot of this body. So I got those corners done up there. If I get my rockers, I'm going to work on putting the front quarters on this Jeep. It's kind of where I'm leaning towards. If I don't get those this weekend, if this handrail job takes off where I got to do it, I'm going to have to put this on the back burner for a little bit. If he'll wait till spring is what I'm hoping, because we had snow last weekend. Nothing really stuck, but like I said, it's cold. I can see my breath in my shop, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, 10:30. If I don't get that job and I don't get my rockers, I'm going to start working on hacking the back of this off, because I got to figure out where these fenders lie back here so I can get the back cut off, put a brace back in here to tie these rear fenders together. But I do need to get the back of the car cut off. You guys probably already saw the short where I was working on this fender. This camera probably does not even come close to doing this justice. That's about a 3/4 inch deep drop here. I started kind of tinkering with this the other day. That's the Bondo that was in that corner. You can tell somebody put a slide hammer on it and tried to slide hammer some of this out. I think these are holes for old tire racks. That's a slide hammer mark. They couldn't get this out because here's the problem. The body mount was there. They didn't want to take the body off, so they just mudded over this giant hole. I told you guys this thing was rough, and it is really rough. So I'm going to get really good at sheet metal work, I think. I'm literally contemplating cutting this off right here. Maybe that way's better. So this is essentially the left rear corner, driver's rear corner. This is the back of the Jeep. That's sharp right there. This is the back of the Jeep. I'm probably going to cut this thing off right here, and I'm going to cut it right here and here so I can body hammer this out. This corner right here, you should have seen the hole in here, guys, but I can get my dolly behind here, so I hammered most of this out. This Jeep is never going to be perfect, you guys. I've never done Bondo before. I know how to work metal a little bit. Sheet metal, I'm learning really quick. It moves just like thicker metal. You just got to support it and hit it in the right spot. I got a lot of these. These are actually just, what do they call them? Bucks. These are bucks off of like a Harbor Freight kit that I had. And I have a bunch of hammers too, different sizes, shapes. So I worked this corner last weekend when the kids were feeling a little bit better. We were out here, had a fire going. Swinging, you guys probably saw my short where we were swinging on the swing over here. And I body worked this from about here to about there. I can't get to this because all this. So I'm going to end up probably cutting this out. I'm still contemplating life choices here. So you can see there's a pretty big drop right there. This is bent where, because it got hit. I got most of this. It's better. I'm not going to tell you guys it's perfect, but it's definitely better. I'm going to end up doing a little bit of vinyl. You can tell that's cracked right there. So I'm going to have to weld that up, smooth all this out. I'm going to strip most of this Jeep down to see what rust is there and what needs to be fixed. There's a lot of it, you guys. I'm not going to lie. This thing's rough. I knew it was rough when I got it. I can't bitch about free, though, is the problem. Like, free Jeep, free BMW. It is what it is. I'm going to make it work for now. Someday I might pull these panels off. I think I'm going to still try to focus on making the body one piece with some framework so I can unbolt it from the BMW and just take it right off the top. And all you'll have left sitting here is this part of the B pillar, part of the C pillar, because it's going to be cut off at the Jeep body line here. There'll be some kind of cap over the back and like storage in the back. And all you have is just a roll cage on this BMW. So literally, if I wanted to go race this and not hurt this body after I put all this work into making it pretty again, I could pop the body off and I could go race this thing. If I roll it, it wouldn't be a big deal. I could still slap the body on it because most of the cage is going to tie into the BMW. I'm thinking out here on the outside of this rocker, I'm going to reinforce these rockers here, and I'm going to tie it together just like I do all my cages. It's going to come across the front of the seats probably. I gotta consider this. I might go this way around the seats. That's going to be down the road, but it is going to be able to, I'm hoping I can make this thing, the cage bolt in and out too. So I can weld the cage, drop it in, bolt it in, bolt the seats to the cage, then bolt the body to the BMW is what I'm hoping. I want to be able to take this thing apart like a Lego down the road if I ever have to, if something happens to it, or if I'm doing a certain kind of racing with it, drag racing, whatever I end up doing with this thing, or if I'm just daily driving it, I can put the body back on it, because that's mainly why I'm building it. During the summer, I want to be able to daily drive this thing. But I am going to try to race it in some kind of form or fashion, is what I'm hoping. Me and Dylan. I might even let Dylan drive this one. I don't know. I tried to make him drive that one. He wouldn't do it. But he will someday, I'm sure. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah. I got stuff to get done tomorrow, but I am going to try to record tomorrow something. Kyla's going to stay home tomorrow probably because she's sick again. So I'll probably have to be taking care of her, but I do got to go see a guy about a job and get driver to school so my wife can go to work because she stayed home with Kyla yesterday. So that's kind of where we're at. I may work a little bit tonight on these corners, just kind of making some measurements, figuring out what I'm going to do with it. Because you guys know that corner is crushed, so I'm going to have to figure something out there. Yeah. This bead roller is going to get a lot of work. Because we're going to bead roll a lot of panels. Mainly dash stuff, center console, rear pan. Maybe not a rear pan. Rear diffuser, I think I'm going to build a custom diffuser out of some aluminum. And I'm going to have to cover this eventually because the Jeep body is going to be here. So I'm going to make some kind of custom cover. Probably a new battery box. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. My little bead roll here, she's going to get a lot of work. I haven't used it a whole lot, but we are definitely getting there. You guys saw. Take the pressure off that. I did bead roll these panels to fold that lip with my tipping die that I made. So, yeah, you guys are going to see a lot of this guy getting used. So, I guess I'll show you guys where I get when I get. I might keep working tonight. It's pretty cold. I'm probably going to go in the house and work tomorrow when I can start a fire. I told you I wasn't sure if I was going to get some of the parts for this BMW. Both my battery chargers took a crap. I threw both of them away. I cut all the cords off coming through here, sorry. Because you can see there's going to be an air gap, so I'm going to have to build some kind of firewall here.